What is happening? Oh my gosh, I had to wait and compose myself because I started tearing up at the end. I had the best weekend reading both of these books, and I'm just so glad I did it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Leandra the TBR Zero. Today I have a very special video vlog planned, and it involves two middle grade mysteries. The first middle grade mystery is From the Desk of Zoe Washington by Janae Marks. This is her debut novel, and I have to admit, I've started it. I have already started it since recording this introduction, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm nowhere near the end though, so don't worry. I'll give you some honest reactions in a little bit, but I'm just so impressed with how this author has tackled social justice issues in a middle grade book. I think it just goes to show that these problems, whether it be wrongful convictions, the Black Lives Matter movement, or the fact that children who are born POC have to be taught certain lessons and certain warnings that children who are white don't have to worry about, specifically their interactions with the police and situations like that. So I just love that these issues can be discussed at the middle grade level because they should be. This is definitely not an issue that should wait until you're ready for adult fiction or YA fiction. So I really appreciate that Marks is doing this in a very well done way. There is never a moment where I think that she goes too far, especially since everything she says is true. And she also doesn't necessarily scare her readers. I think she informs them, makes them aware, and rightfully angry and confused, but I don't think that she goes in too hard either. So I'm just really appreciating it so far, and I can't wait to keep going. The second book that I'll be featuring in this, the second book that I'll be featuring in this.
What is going on? Why does that sound so strange in my mouth?
The second book that I will be featuring in this video vlog is The Keeper, and this is by Guadalupe, Garcia, McCall, and I am excited about this one because it's one of my anticipated pre-orders actually, so I've been looking forward to this since January, but also it has a very different vibe from Zoe Washington, and I love it when I can group together certain themes or genres for a video vlog, for instance, but the books are still very, very different so that it's not like you're reading the same tropes or the same characters one after the other. But with The Keeper, we have James, and his family has recently moved. I believe they moved from Texas to Oregon, and almost immediately James or his family begin to receive these anonymous letters by someone who calls themselves the Keeper, and they're very eerie and probably threatening, it sounds like. So pretty much this is almost thriller mystery-esque, and James has to figure out who this person is and why they feel like they have to target his family for moving into this house. And I'm really enjoying the cover. It's very spooky, and oh my gosh, I just figured out that that is a person in the window. I'm really excited. I just realized this, but both of these middle grade mysteries are written by people of color. Let me know if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading into it too much when it comes to the mystery genre, but I feel like mysteries, at least the publishing industry for mystery books, is very heavily white. And part of that, I think, is because of our attraction for golden age detective fiction, which, you know, is published between like the 20s and the 50s. That's quite a wide range I'm giving it, but that's what I'm saying. It is in my case. And yeah, people of color were not offered the opportunities to be successful authors during those times. And even today, we still have huge battles that we need to fight to make sure that we are diversifying the publishing industry, especially mainstream publishers, since they're the biggest culprits when it comes to diversity of authors who are getting the chance to be published. So I'm just really excited that at the middle grade level, we're seeing some diversity from great authors, great voices that we 100% should hear and read and enjoy. So yeah, very appreciative and very excited for this video vlog. I'll be giving you guys updates in just a bit. Enjoy, bye! So I'm about a third of the way through the book at the moment, and as I said, I'm really enjoying it. Zoe is such a thoughtful, kind protagonist. I think she is someone that any child reading this should look up to because she has some great moral standards, and she's just a wonderful person overall. I really love the way she communicates with her parents and her friends and her grandmother, and she is living such a complex life as a young child already, and I think that that just goes to show you, as I've said multiple times, middle grades can be complex, and there are many conflicts happening. She is an extraordinary baker, so she is focused on one day pursuing a career as a chef, which is just a brilliant, amazing thing. And it's also very current because one of her goals is to be a contestant on a children's baking show, and we know that the world loves its baking shows, so this totally makes sense. And on top of that, though, she has her own personal conflicts going on. She's in a fight at the moment with one of her best friends that we haven't really figured out why. And on top of that, an even bigger issue, which is the main overarching plot device, or at least plot conflict, is the fact that her father is contacting her and she's really struggling to figure out these new emotions she's feeling. She's meeting this man pretty much for the first time, and he's her father, but she already has a loving, caring stepfather who's been in her life pretty much since the beginning. So it's really hard for her to try to balance that, on top of the fact that she's realizing her birth father might have been wrongfully committed to murder, or wrongfully convicted for committing murder. And it's crazy, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I think that at the moment we haven't seen anything that doesn't sit in the realm of possibilities. All of this seems very plausible, especially for her at age 12. So I'm just really enjoying it so far, and I can't wait to give you guys another update. Bye! Good evening, everyone. I am 200 pages into From the Desk of Zoe Washington, and I'm still really enjoying it. I love that Marks has taken the very well-loved mystery and food combination that you often see in adult mysteries, and she has applied it to Zoe. And while the food doesn't really have anything to do with the mystery itself, Zoe is so passionate about her baking that it's been really fun to see her focus on recipes, creating them herself, doing trial and error, and it's a really nice balance and break from the really serious issues that I discussed in my last update. I'm really pleased with it, and I don't think I'm the type of person who usually is interested in food related mysteries, or at least, the bakers, baristas, or chefs that also solve crime on the side. I'm usually not that type of reader, but I'm really liking it in Zoe Washington, and it's just a really pleasing, sweet read that happens to also have very serious topics associated with it, and I still think it's being done really well. Marks discusses a lot of issues that members of the Black community have to deal with. For instance, what the meaning of the N-word means for some people versus others, and also what it's like to just be discriminated against and notice it. Like Zoe notices it when she's walking with her stepfather, who is not Black, and so they get a lot of looks when they're together, and it frustrates her and it kind of confuses her at the same time, but she knows that prejudice and racism do have a play in that. So it's been really enjoyable and really interesting. I have off camera brewed myself some ginger tea because Zoe's grandmother is a very big tea drinker and it got me craving it. So yeah, very pleased. About 100 pages to go. Wish me luck. Good morning. I just finished From the Desk of Zoe Washington, and oh my gosh, I had to wait and compose myself because I started tearing up at the end. It was just so sweet, and I don't know, I don't want to give anything away necessarily, but oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine Marcus, Zoe's father, and his situation, especially when Zoe has been raised by her mother and another man, and Marcus has just had to hope that, you know, Zoe gets all the love she deserves, and he couldn't have been able to be there for her. So it got me tearing up. So I gotta stop talking about it because it was just really sweet. This book is just so heart-wrenching in the best ways, and I don't know, I just feel like every student should read it. I can totally see middle graders really getting a great impact for it. The only thing I was a little miffed about, it's the tiniest thing, is that she had to do a lot of lying, obviously, to stay in contact with Marcus, to try to figure out what happened and whether he was innocent or not. And so she lied to her parents and to her grandmother, and afterwards, you know, there's a huge blow up. She gets grounded and she's not allowed to audition for this kids' bake show that she really wanted to do at the end of the summer. But when they come around and they realize that what she says has merit and that there actually is a witness that puts Marcus in a completely different place than when the crime was happening, they then say, oh, but you're still grounded because you lied to us. And it's like, I mean, I understand, but at the same time, none of this would have happened if she didn't lie. Because every time she was honest, saying that she wanted to get to know Marcus, write him letters, she was constantly shut down to not discuss the subject of it anymore. So literally she had to lie in order to do the right thing and help an innocent man begin the process of getting out of prison. So I was like, I mean, I understand lying is bad and that you shouldn't encourage children to do it, especially if, you know, it makes them do unsafe things or things that would be better with adult supervision. But I feel like maybe a stern talking to, because really the parents, at least the mom, was at fault with her stubbornness and that type of situation. I don't know. But either way, it ended so nicely, and I think it was believable too. The process itself wasn't glossed over or made to seem speedier than it was. So yeah, I'm just really pleased. This was just so heartfelt, and I really appreciate that Janae Marks took the plunge and wrote a novel like this. Highly recommend, and on to book 2. Oh wait, I should probably rate it. I'm giving this 4 stars. It's just such a pleasing read, and I fully intend to donate it to the local library if I can, or maybe a school library, depending on who is willing to take this amazingly important book. But anyway, yeah, 4 stars, on to book 2. Hey everyone. I'm probably going to squeeze this interruption midway through the video vlog, but if you're still watching and you're enjoying yourselves, consider giving the video a like, subscribe, and ring the little bell, and then you'll be notified every time another video like this comes up. Thanks everyone for watching. Enjoy! Bye! Hey everyone, I'm in my cozy pajamas and I'm reading this spooky mystery tonight. I am about 4 chapters into The Keeper, and I like to read my hardbacks with the sleeves off of them, just so I don't damage the sleeves, even though the sleeves are meant to protect any damage from the book itself, but I digress. So I'm about 4 chapters in, and I'm just really enjoying it. I can't hit it home enough, the fact that middle grade books can be so enjoyable and complex. So James and his family, they moved from Texas to Oregon, and so that's its own adjustment situation, especially for James, who, you know, misses his friends, his baseball teammates, and he just isn't really comfortable with the move, and he hasn't really voiced his opinions on it. So that's obviously been building up inside of him. And he and his sister have an interesting, not a rivalry, but, you know, just the typical sibling prankster relationship where they keep pranking each other back and forth. Seems like it's been going on for a long time, and their parents are pretty done with it. Like, they keep asking the kids to have a truce because it's starting to disrupt their lives and just frustrate them. And also the pranks are kind of upping the ante and being a bit more disruptive, and I wouldn't say they're harmful, but, you know, they're just a bit more frustrating. The last prank that James's sister Ava did was she put petroleum jelly into his baseball mitt, and so because he put his hand in there, then he couldn't get a good grip on his bat. His, you know, current baseball glove was ruined, and this was just before he was going to start practice with a new team, and so it really messed up his game, and she knows it, and so do the parents. But, you know, of course, now it's just like, oh, how is he going to get back at her? While all of this is happening, we also have officially received the first letter from the keeper. And of course, because all these pranks are happening, James automatically... Do you hear that? I live very close to a very busy street. But anyway, so he gets a letter from the keeper, and he immediately thinks that Ava did it because it was an attempt to prank him again. So he decides that he's going to ignore it. But there's a really great line when he's first reading or looking at the letter, and oh my gosh, it was just so good. I wonder, am I gonna be able to find it? Okay. So it says, for some reason, the sight of the strange envelope makes the tiny hairs on my forearms rise up, and I rub at the goosebumps vigorously. I don't know why, but I get a strange feeling that I am not alone. I peek over my shoulder and glance around the room, looking for whatever is giving me the chills. And it's like, oh my gosh, it was giving me chills. Oh my gosh, there's a really good similar scene in Station 11. If you've ever read that book and you kind of want the creepy vibes, that's another really good one. Though it might be a little too close to current issues with the pandemic happening. But either way, I'm just already really enjoying it, and I'm wondering how creepy it's gonna get, you know, because I haven't really read spooky, creepy middle grades before. I've only ever read mysteries in general. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the bar is, you know, because there's probably middle grade spooky, YA spooky, and then adult spooky, which I don't even think I can really read. So yeah. About a quarter of the way in, and I'm really enjoying it. So see you guys in my next update. Good morning. I am about halfway through The Keeper, and there's so much that I realized I forgot to mention last night on top of the stuff I want to update you with now. So let's just see if we can get through it in a timely manner. First of all, I forgot to mention how much I'm enjoying the inclusion of Mexican culture and folklore. At the back of the book is a glossary that gives you any definitions of Spanish words that are used, as well as certain mythological characters or stories that obviously the author, McCall, grew up with. And it's really interesting because a lot of it dates back to Aztec history, and one thing is this indigenous population that's mentioned that comes from Mexico, Nahua, Nahua. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it's a history and a folklore that I've never heard of before, so I'm really appreciating that McCall is bringing it not only to my life, but to younger readers, because Indigenous people around the world often don't get the highlights that they deserve, whether it be in the classroom or in books that we read leisurely. So I really enjoyed that. One thing I'm noting in The Keeper, but also in From the Desk of Zoe Washington, is that these 12-year-olds have cell phones. And while that's probably normal now, and when I was growing up, people my age now would have thought that I was quite young, because I think I got my first phone when I was in 8th grade. It was a flip phone, but it's just crazy to have these kids with smartphones or laptops. And yeah, it's just fascinating how our technology has advanced, where it's easy enough for an entire family to have their own phones. And there's one other thing that you know what? I love that in the last book, there is this kind of side addition of like basketball being like a fun activity, because Zoe's friend Trevor is on the basketball team, but she also participates in it. And her father was a very big, avid fan of basketball as well. Whereas in The Keeper, it's all about baseball. So it makes sense, because sports are a huge part of young people's lives. So I just think that's really fun that that's just additional plots, you know, that make it very realistic for what these children are going through. Now, to get to the plot, we're halfway through. James has received 2 letters, and they've pretty much determined that neither he or Ava are behind it, because both of them accused the other, since obviously trust has been a difficult thing to find when you prank your sibling every other day. And on top of that, they responsibly bring these letters to their parents, but their parents laugh because they're assuming it's just another elaborate scheme when it comes to pranks. So it's kind of a, you know, cry wolf situation, which I really enjoy, just because it's a very modern version of a Grimm's fairy tale type of story. But yeah, I don't know. I keep going back and forth on like trying to create creative ways that this is gonna pan out. But oh my gosh, I just had the biggest scare. They were in the woods and they find this old cemetery, and then James realizes that a hooded figure with binoculars is watching them, and so a chase ensues because James and Ava's dog starts to chase the figure. So it was just like a chaotic scene, and it just goes to show you how much they have to unravel to figure out what is even happening. On top of that, they found a hidden basement in their house, so there's just a lot of craziness, and I'm really liking it so far. I will either give you guys another update, or I'll let you know what I think when I finish it. Stay tuned. Okay, so I haven't read much further. I think I'm at like page 180 or something, but things have gotten so crazy that I have to give my thoughts on it. First of all, now I'm wondering if there's supernatural elements to this mystery thriller. I didn't really read the synopsis too thoroughly because I like entering books with a surprise, but now we're wondering if like the blood moon is associated with some type of ritual in which a child dies every like 25 years, and the result of that death seems to ensure that the community is safe from certain disasters, whether it be mudslides, flooding, or even economic crises. So what is happening? And now James, at least I'm realizing, is the next intended sacrifice victim, it seems. He keeps interacting with these, you know, potentially harmful events where he almost gets hurt, and he almost just gets crushed by a falling garage door, but his sister saves him, and it's just like, what is going on? I have less than 100 pages to go, and I'm so like nervous and excited, and just I'm hooked. Oh my gosh. I'll let you guys know how it goes. Bye. Hey everyone, I just finished The Keeper, and the last 100 pages were one of the craziest experiences of my reading life. I could not stop reading. So many insane things happened, and I don't even know where to begin. First of all, this is 100% a thriller mystery. It got really intense really fast, to the point where I was worried about these children and wondering what was going to happen. I loved, overall, from beginning to end, the loving relationship between Ava and James as brother and sister. They were wonderful characters in and of themselves, but together they were just so fun to root for, especially when their lives were at risk and they were determined to not only save themselves but each other and then their entire family. So I cannot tell you how many times I gasped, I screamed expletives because of how insane the book was getting. So really, McCall, she should be so proud of this debut. Hey everyone, I was filling out my bullet journal for The Keeper, and I realized that I am a silly Billy because Guadalupe Garcia McCall has published 4 books previously to The Keeper. Let me just double check that. Yes, as well as many poems for children. So this is not her debut novel. She is a well-worn author in the community. She just was new to me. So apologies, but now I've learned something and I can't wait to look into her other books. Okay, well, bye guys. Enjoy the rest of the video. Sorry. And I'm 100% going to be reading more of her books in the future because I just, oh my gosh, this was insane. 100% 5 stars. I had the best weekend reading both of these books and I'm just so glad I did it. Yeah, so 4 stars for Zoe Washington and 5 stars for The Keeper. Highly recommend both of them. This one for its very serious topics on social justice, and this one for the beautiful Mexican culture, on top of it being just a thrilling, scary at times, middle grade mystery. Yeah. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Thanks everyone for watching this video vlog if you made it to the end. I really appreciate you spending some time with me today. If you had fun, please think about giving this video a like. Consider subscribing because I'm really getting into these video vlogs and having a lot of fun. So you can subscribe so that you'll be one of the first people notified when another video comes up. And ring that bell too, I think that's important. Either way, I love you all and have a great rest of your week, day, weekend, whenever you're watching this. Bye!